So, I'm sure you guys have seen my Twitter posts by now. If you haven't, go ahead and check that out at Zynexia. I believe it's at Zynexia 2013 with a 3 for the E. But basically, I got banned from Facebook for stating an opinion, or actually, more like facts, about the loop we're in with the gaming industry. And I've been banned 7 times, and literally they've all been in the last 7 months. No coincidence that they were during the summer. Which means there is a team at either Facebook or a team that's using Facebook to target me. And Facebook is not giving me any ability to refute, or in any way give any kind of take on this on these bans. The bans often don't take context of any messages put into play. Often it's just a word trigger, which means I know it's algorithmic, which means it's Facebook. And I don't know if they're employing a third party to borrow that algorithm or how they're covering their ass. I will say this, if people think I'm bitching unneedlessly or as if just to bitch, try not having social media for 7 full months against your will simply because you don't align with the exact political system that the people they have hired align with. And it is no secret that Facebook has an extremist leftist community standards program. It is no secret whatsoever. In fact, if you look at most of their community standards professors, they come from extremist left-leaning professions. Most of them are professors who come from extremist left-leaning ideological schools. Now, I'm not a Republican. I no longer am a Democrat. I am a complete centrist. But because I do not conform to either side's propaganda, and because I do not conform to the leftist extremism in particular, I'm automatically banned from Facebook anytime I say one word improperly. This last time, an algorithm actually entrapped me into another algorithm's trap. And what I mean by that is I was speaking into Google Dictate and I said, be a corporate simp if you want to, or be a simp bitch if you want to. Google instead wrote, be a simp bitch, and then continued to write the left. So it took away the phrase that would make it a question. It took away the 2 words that would make it a question, or I guess the 3 words, if you really want to go into details, that would make the word or the sentence a question, which would be well within Facebook's community standards program. But because I set it into Google's algorithm and speak to text function, I was entrapped by one algorithm feeding me to the entrapment of another algorithm. So yeah, algorithms for gatekeeping, probably the worst option you could have, especially in a highly technological society. But then that's just the small little whipped cream that's personal to me, That's just a topping of all the other problems we're having. You have elections being claimed tampered with by both sides. There is no side of our political system that hasn't claimed election tampering at the hands of big tech. You have people being silenced for just stating expressions or views that aren't even attacking anyone. You have people being silenced for simple, very passive ideologies. And it's all being influenced by a very select amount of people. And I've noticed that the amount of grievances coming from the left for Facebook are a lot smaller than the grievances coming from the right. And this is a simple fact. Now, I understand that the right has some real problems with some extremisms. They really do. They really don't use a proper etiquette when it comes to outright saying what they think, But I want you to think about it this way. If you think I'm bitching just to bitch, imagine, if you will, a public park funded by a private organization. Imagine, if you will, someone talking to their friend. Their friend's not upset by this or by what they're saying. They're not upset, and no one's heard them. No one's even really cared. But an algorithm comes along, literally shoots them in the head because, and this is, I'm of course giving an algorithm a biology, and I know that's not exactly what people are going to be able to envision, but it's really hard to describe how we're being filtered out. How people in society are being filtered out, how their mentalities are being filtered out, how their values or how their thoughts or how their ideologies are being filtered out. It's really hard to describe that without giving it some kind of human form. And I think people really need to take a step back and look at the algorithms that these companies, big tech companies, employ. I think they need to realize, and I really think the government needs to realize how much power it's lost to big tech firms. You guys have lost power. You've gained money, but you have lost so much power. These big tech companies have surveillance measures and surveillance ability that far outweighs anything the NSA, CIA, or FBI has ever had. They don't have to create traps. They just give it to you. They just give it to you, and you accept it. Why? Because you want to use their service. But then they can take all of that data, reap all of the rewards, and then block you in the process of using that service. So I think there needs to be a bill that really needs to enable freedom of speech on the internet. I know, there's going to be a lot of bad fucking remarks made, but we need to fucking grow up as a society. We need to really, really grow the fuck up. The days of tattletelling everyone else out, or having an algorithm come on and pound someone in the head just because they said something that might offend someone, is getting old. Our tech companies have put us into dystopian peril, and we need to acknowledge it before it's too late. Before someone gets killed. Well, actually, doxing has already killed several people, but we don't talk about that when we attribute how prank calls to SWAT teams kill people. No, we don't even look at the source. How did this person get that data? Well, that data was most likely bought, for one, by one of these big tech companies. It's called doxing. It happens. Yeah, I'm spreading some fucking reels. I'm gonna get hacked like a motherfucker for this. I don't care. I really don't care. I'm sick of it. And I think a lot of people are. Anyway, this is me just saying exactly what needs to be said. Peace.